Hello, welcome to Ephemera Files by Tommy, and I am going to do another in the series of the hashtag Scavenger Hunt 2021. So far it's kind of been a struggle in spots because I got things that just seemed so disparate that didn't go together at all, and somehow they just happen to work. And I call that art, because art is messy and you really don't know where it's going sometimes until you've gotten there. So let's go ahead and do this thing. I will draw the next three. I'll get these mixed up. Maybe I'll get some that actually seem to work together this time. Of course, then I may not have any clue what in the world to do with it. All right, so I am closing my eyes and mixing these up, and I'm going to try to just get three. I think that's one. They want to stick together for some reason. And then there's one, and then one last one. Is that one or is that two? That's there. Now we have one. All right, so I've got these three, and I didn't have any that fell out of the bowl. That's unusual. I guess the first time that's happened. All right. So I have a rusty page. How in the world? You know what? I think I know what I can do with that one already. A letter to myself or to yourself, and washi tape. Well, washi tape, I've got no problem. I have an addiction to washi tape, apparently. So the first thing I'm going to do, I think, is look up these. No, I know. I'm going to look up what these numbers are on my sheet and write them down so that I know what numbers I'm looking for with my final project. I will get the numbers put together that I need, and then I'll be right back. Okay, I have my numbers over here to the side. I have an idea of what I'm going to do, and I am going to use my rusty hinge Distress Oxide that's a Tim Holtz, and I'm going to use a stencil with it. So here is my rusty hinge Distress Oxide, and I'm also going to, like I said, I'm going to use a stencil, this brick wall right here, and that I need to pull out my gray as well for my brick wall. And I'm also going to use some stamps this time. There we go. And I need my brush. And I am going to, first off, I am going to, on the back of this page, prep my stamp, because I want to do the reverse stenciling that I have done before. I think that I have shared a video. I will try to find it. If I haven't, then that's a video I need to make. And the first thing I need to do is ink this up, because I'm actually going to use the wrong side of the stamp first. And I'm not worried so much about filling in the squares as getting the ink on the stencil itself. So I'm not worried about it moving, because I'm not worried about what happens underneath. All right, I've got that. Now, what this technique requires is let's see. I need to figure out first exactly where I want my wall to be. I think I'm going to start my wall over this way because I'm not going to have the wall going all the way across. And so I am just going to spritz that stencil on the side that has the ink, and I am going to put it down on the paper. Just like that. And I'm going to press to make sure I've got good contact everywhere. And while my stencil is down, I am going to grab my rusty hinge and another stencil brush. My sleeves are a little too long. And this time I am going to go and make sure that I am filling in the insides of the brick. Or brick pattern, I guess, is what I want to say. I am not going to go all the way to the edges because you end up with a line here that's almost impossible to avoid. So I'm just going to stop right there. And see how now that looks like cement? It does look like a wall still because I still got the edges because of the way I did the gray. That's okay. I can figure it out from there. I do like that though. I just need to figure out where to go from there now because I didn't count on the line. So let's see. I am going to, I think I may just repeat that down here with just the orange. Let's see what happens. I can cover it up if I don't like it, right? And if I do like it, well, that's even better. It's just a hint. I think I could actually lay that down again. Maybe go just a little bit further with that hint of rust. Just a little. And maybe up here just a bit. And I could spray that again and get some more of that ink off probably. I think I will. I like that. I actually kind of like that, and I kind of like it being just that up there because then I can fill in all around it with my other ideas. Let's see, I'm gonna wipe my fingertips off because they are now all gray and orange. And I like how with this brush, you don't quite get an even filled in coat on those bricks. It makes it look even more realistic because you rarely see a brick wall where every single brick is the same color and the same patterning and everything else. All right, next. I am going to, what was my plan? Oh, I need to get my die cuts out because I want some flowers to go on here too. All right. Ooh, those colors go really well with that. What would I do with that? That's a maybe. Not sure I'll use that one though. I have fussy cut several of these from magazines, like those tulips right there. Obviously they don't go with this spread, but you never know when things will come in handy. And I can do that while I'm watching TV with my husband. And I get to spend time with him and still get to do this kind of stuff. All right, I have 3 of these little containers of floral. And I'm sure that I've got more floral pieces scattered about. I'm still in my makeshift interim studio that is in the basement. My studio ground gets broken next week, and so I'm really excited about that, excited to get out of the basement. Ooh, that looks really good. I may not use those 2. I don't know yet. I think that those are what I think I'm going to work with. I'm not going to use the sunflower quilt. I like these because they look like they go with this right here. And I'm going to use this girl here. And they also seem to go with this pocket that full of flowers that is the envelope. All right. So now to figure out, I do know that I want to use this on the wall. It's a set of keys and a ribbon. I'm not sure what that is, so I may not use that particular part. And then I have to include a letter to myself. So I probably will need to grab an envelope. Here's my envelope. I'm going to go ahead and pull her off. These are Illustrated Faith. But if you go to Illustrated Faith, you might be able to find these stamps. I think I'm going to use this guy too. And the leaf. Used more of that than I thought I was going to. Let's see, I'll go ahead and pull this one off. I'm not going to use the thank you. I'm just going to use the envelope with the flowers in it. Whoops, wrong place. And apparently I have never used any of those stamps. I wonder if I've used any of those. I'll find out. I am pretty sure I didn't get it. Well, no, that one has some ink on it. I just didn't use black. That may be one where I stamped in the gray so that I could watercolor under it and then stamp it over it again. Or draw over the drawing. So there's that one. And that one. And that one. And I'm going to need a piece of blank paper. All right, so here are the stickers, or not stickers, the stamps all laid out. I've got the flowers that I'm going to use. I've got my envelope for my letter to myself. I have already started the wall, and I have my paper here that I'm going to print these onto so that I can cut around them. And I have chosen some washi tape that is in some rust colors to help pick up on that background and to tie everything all together. So I need to get one of my acrylic blocks out. I do have a lot of acrylic blocks. Part of it's because I was testing some out, different kinds, and I just, you know, you don't just throw them away. And it turns out that sometimes I could actually use that many acrylic blocks. That one's kind of lost in the middle, but it's okay. And then the last one, this one, and this one is going to go on there. There we go. All right, now I am going to stamp each of these. I think only one time for each of them is all that I need on this paper. And I'm going to use the hickory smoke again as a stamp. Or I mean, yes, with the stamps. And you'll see that it ends up darker than it is on here. At least it's supposed to be. We'll find out if it does. And I pushed way too hard. Can you see how that fuzzed out on the sides? And I think part of it's because I was trying to make up for this not being exactly flat because of all the artwork that's going on underneath of it. So I am going to stamp that again and see if I can get a less fuzzy outline. I don't have to push so hard. I was trying to compensate. Now see, that one is much better, but it's not wonderful yet. So I'm going to do one more time and then I will take the best of the three. That one's great. All right, so we've got that one, and I'm going to go ahead and stamp the rest of these on here. I'm not going to stamp this one. This one I'm going to use colors with. Same here with that one. Alrighty. Now I am going to fussy cut around these, and I'll be right back. All right, so there are my pieces all cut out. I'm going to take my colored pencils and I'm going to color these in, and then I will come back. All right, I have colored in all of my pieces, and I didn't realize that my camera wasn't on, and I went ahead and glued my envelope flap to the back of this page. My letter to myself is going to be in there. It doesn't say that it has to be wide open visible on the page, so it is going to be tucked in there for me. I am going to glue just the bottom half of this because I want it to overlap the brick wall some. I want it to overlap this part some, and I want it to be on the envelope as well. Put that right there, just like that. And part of what I am going to put on here is a message. I have got to get my table cleaned up. Part of what I'm going to put on here is a message to myself in the envelope, but I'm going to have a message out here too. And so I am going to start by arranging. I'm going to put this down just so I can see what I'm doing. And I'm going to arrange these cutouts and die cuts that I have picked out. I'm going to arrange them so that they kind of flow down the page. This will actually be on the top. And I think I want to make sure that I know where it's going before I put anything else down. Yeah, it's going to go right about there. So I'm going to arrange with that center point in the middle there. And I want these to peek out. From behind all of the other elements. I was going to do that right there. Yes. And I want to make sure that I've got a balanced look going on as well. Oops. Okay, I like the way that that looks. And when I close this up, it overlaps. Yep, I like that. So I have kind of put myself into a corner. This part's going to be tricky. I'm going to get my clear tacky glue out and see if I can do this without totally messing everything up. Let's see, it's grabbing in some spots that I wasn't ready for it to grab. And I know this isn't exactly where I had everything, but it's going to be really close. All right, so I'm going to leave that to dry for a bit. All right, so I'm adding my washi there. I forgot to talk. Adding washi right there. And that's one of the components, but I also felt like that corner needed a little something. And I'm just slicing the washi right here so that the envelope can open. And I have other washis here too that I am going to add into the picture. I like this arrow washi. And it's kind of that rusty color. I don't know how else to get rusty paper. I guess maybe I need to, I don't know, Google how to rust paper. Is that a thing? I'm guessing it's a thing. Otherwise it wouldn't be a thing on the list, would it? All right, so we're going to stick this on here, right there, and come across. And I'm going to peel this paper that was on the back of the washi, because that was a new roll, I hadn't used it yet, and tuck it up under where that flower lands. And we'll just cut this off here. Let's see. And I want to add some more washi. How do I want to do it? I think I want to kind of go across the band of flowers that I have there. And I have an idea if my washi will cooperate. I'm going to go right across here, right across that center flower, and I'm going across the envelope, and I'm going to come around to the front and just bring it up to that envelope and just tear it off. I like the way that that echoes across there. And I can just use my little razor blade again so that my envelope still opens. I can cut off my extra washi over there. And then I have yet another orange washi. I'm going to do kind of, whoops. I thought I was going to do kind of the same thing. Maybe I'm not. Maybe the washi doesn't want me to. Yeah, I'm still going to do this. I'm going to come up here and come across the flowers right here, and then just let that washi die off right there, because I'm going to have some other things that will be up there. Trim that off. I think I need to move some stuff out of the way here. All right, and so I still haven't used this one. I've used those. And this one's not necessarily rust. It's more of a copper color, copper feel. It's got a metallic tint to it. And I'm actually going to go right across the arrows and across the envelope. And again, I'll be cutting that so that the envelope is still functional. There we go. And now, excuse my nose, and now I think I need to go back in and glue underneath these flowers just a little bit more. I feel like they're kind of more secure with having some of the washi running across it. And now I can tell where it is that I need to glue. And I got my new bottle of Fabrifix opened up and ready to go so that I don't have to mess with the dry time. and that'll come off. It'll come off after it dries. It kind of acts like rubber cement. If you remember rubber cement, do they even make rubber cement anymore? Because that's what it reminds me of. When you let it dry, it kind of rolls off, just like rubber cement. So I need to get my message on there and get all the rest of the pieces on there. I think, let's see if I remember, my keys are going here. All right, I'm still trying to decide. I may not use these two stamps because I haven't yet, and I kind of like where this is going, so I may not. All right, so my words I am going to put on here are something that I struggle with a lot. I don't know if you've noticed, but a lot of these entries, matter of fact, almost every entry is something that I am saying to myself that I need to allow myself to remember. And so I am apparently going to work through all of my issues here on camera. So welcome. I don't know whether to apologize or thank you for coming along, or both, or just what. I actually think I want her to be there. Okay. But my message to myself this time is a reminder that I don't have to be what other people think I have to be. I struggle with the not good enough mindset. I have struggled with it all my life. My husband, we were talking to some friends, and he brought up a good point. He was, oh goodness, he was kind of talking about my struggles that we had recently with this couple. He is one of our ministers at church, and said, you can't see it, but that woman sitting over there on the couch is wearing a hat right now that says failure, and she wears it most of the time. There's hardly a time that she doesn't have it on. And he hit the nail on the head. He was right. He's very insightful whenever it comes to things like that. And so in making this art piece, it just came together that I needed to let myself know that I'm not a failure, and my husband is wonderful at letting me know that, and at that moment he was wonderful at letting other people know that, including me, because I hadn't even thought about it, but it was quite true. So this particular art piece is letting me know that I don't have to measure up because I'm good enough. So I am going to spell out the word measure here. Hopefully I have all of the letters, and I've got it going across, I'll have it going across this ruler. And I'm going to put that down first so that I can figure out where the rest of the letters are going to go. And he's coming down the stairs, so you may hear him in the background. But I think he knows that I'm making a video, so he's a good guy. Get these letters all put across here, and I'm really struggling with not trying to make this perfect. That's what this whole thing was about, was I don't have to be perfect, and I don't have to measure up to anybody else's standards. I have one whose standards I need to measure up to, and he sees me through Jesus, and so I am good enough just because I belong to him. All right, so I've got that on there, and I'm going to put the word up right here on the measuring tape on the ruler. And then I'm going to pull my other words over. Here is this. You do not, I'm going to overlap that on that flower. You do not have to measure up. And I'm going to tuck in these other pieces. Well, I think I'm going to glue these down first. All right. Let's see. I am going to put, I'm going to tuck that 79 cents right down there because that's one of my numbers. I kind of like that. And I forgot where I was. Oh, I know what it was. I'm going to put this right here because 16 is one of the numbers, and I'm going to layer that right there, and then I just have to find a number 80, and I think that I have an 8 and a 0 right here, so that might be my other number. All right, so that's going to go there. I need to glue this. And then she, who I colored to look like me, and believe it or not, I got the hair color almost dead on, and I happen to be wearing a blue and gray striped shirt, so it all worked. Yes, things like that are strange, and I notice them. I'm a noticer. All right, and she was behind, let's see, kind of behind that, but on top of that one. There we go. Put her right there. Let's see, I need to get my 80 on there. And then just a couple of last things. Just reminders. Let's say, you are enough. This one says, be you bravely. And this one says, be your beautiful self. And my clock's gonna go off. So we have a little background music right now. And I think that is, I think I'm gonna call that done. I'm gonna go in and kind of box in my conversation here. I'll come back and actually write the letter to myself that'll go in the envelope in a bit, because I wouldn't show it to you anyway, so you're not missing out. You just have to know it's there, right? And I do think that I am going to add some little black flowers on there. Okay, and since I have misplaced my black ink pad, my black soot, I'm going to go in and use this palette hybrid ink pad in Nor Black, and I'm just going to go through and add some little flowers here and there, because I feel like I've got some extra white space that is not appealing to me. And right here. All right, now to put a date on it, and we will call it done. I've got my rusty page, got my washi tape, and my letter to myself. Thank you for joining me today, and thank you for just listening to my story and the input that you guys have had. I've had some really nice comments on some things that I've said and I've done, and I really do appreciate that. And until next time, remember to be kind always. Bye.